John DeBow, E3. My time in the Navy was quite quick. I had 2 years regular Navy. I went to boot camp the day after Christmas, 1968. I remember that being extremely cold. And then boot camp was real good to me. And as I was in boot camp, so was my younger brother. And I went to get my eyes examined over the main side. And the lieutenant commander over there kept me there. And I didn't understand why. And then my younger brother showed up. They pulled him out of class to join me to visit with me for a while before I got really into it. So he was on the Harwood before I got there. We got stationed together. And I got a little insight before I got on board how to act, how not to act. Don't look like you just got out of boot camp. He was informing me of that. And then boot camp was funny because they always told you new clothes or dirty clothes, you have to wash them. Well, we did that, and then we had to take them outside to dry them. Well, it was December, so the next morning we had to bring them back in and put them in the drying room, and they just stood there by themselves because they were frozen solid. But the biggest thing I remember going to the Harwood is she just got back from Nam, and I was excited to get there, and then when I was going aboard ship, I saw the damage that was done when they took that hit. And I just made a good mood go somber real quick. That was, like I said, it was a sombering experience. It was sad because there was nobody really, you figured the day, well, it wasn't the day after Christmas, that was like 11 weeks. But you figured that would be a little more exciting. But the people on board weren't real happy because of what had happened. A few people did get hurt. And they were just happy to be, and then there was a transition because a lot of them that had just gotten back from Nam that left the ship to start with. So there wasn't a whole lot of people on board to tell you what did happen, what didn't happen. And then being new, you were just you trying to get in the thing of what you had to do aboard ship and get organized that way. So by the time you did get to talk to anybody, it just was out of your head, you forgot about it. And then they transferred the ship to Charleston, South Carolina to get overhauled. And we had the tail end of a hurricane there, and it was a real rough seas because we weren't under our own power. We were being towed by a tug. So we got overhauled, and then we went to Springboard, then we went to Guantanamo. Well, I was in damage control, and like everybody else, they just had to work their butts off when you were in Guantanamo because it's battle training. You're going there to learn how to do stuff that you do in battle. Many, many drills. And like I said, I was in damage control, so I took care of a damage control locker. So you were either putting stuff away or pulling stuff out the whole time. And it was pretty much sun up just about sometimes. And then we went to the Med. Well, I remember the liberties were nice. I do remember those. They were nice. But I did what they called soundings on ship for my duties when I was on watch. And I remember going to the bridge, and the captain was sitting there and looking at the radar that was there, and I looked at it, and he asked me if I knew what I was looking at, and I told him I didn't have a clue. And he pointed to the two things on there, and he said one of them was a Russian turbine, I think they called it, boat coming across their bow. And he asked me, he says, he didn't ask me, he told me, he said, two things are going to happen. He said, we're going to wake up the chiefs in chief's quarters because that was at the bow of the ship where they slept. He says, or he's going to slow down, one or the other. Like, hey, we'll just bump into him, we were bigger than him. So that's what I remember about that. He was a pretty good commander marshal, with his understanding of it. Because we did have another commander, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. And he came across with border rationing because we were getting low on water. And Commander Marshall come across and he said, you got two ways of doing this. He says, you can either ration your water. He said, or you can shower with a buddy. He said, but we need to save water. And he just didn't throw it out there that you're going to do this. You know, he made a joke about it and tried to come across an easy way. So, like I say, that was my career. I spent 2 years in the Navy. Got discharged early because I was getting out when we came back from the Med. I was supposed to get released in December, and we got back, I think it was November. And they said, there's no sense in keeping you here, you might as well go home. So that was good. It was a lot of time spent, and it went by quick for me. And then my younger brother went on to different ships after I left because they decommissioned the ship. And he wasn't able to take, he wasn't one of them chosen to take it over to the Turkish.